In Neo-Viridia, a city literally built on logic and light, fairy tales were just ghost stories in the code. They were myths, nothing more than outdated data from a server someone forgot to wipe. Totally irrelevant in a world of holographic skies and anti-gravity highways. But, as they were about to find out, all it takes for an old story to come roaring back to life is one little spark of magic. For Ella, magic was the absolute last thing on her mind. Her world wasn't logic and light, it was grime and servitude, all lived out in the shadows of her family's gleaming penthouse apartment. From her tiny balcony, she could see all of Neo-Viridia spread out below, a glittering carpet of chrome spires that poked through the clouds and rivers of light from the sky traffic flowing between them. It was, for her, a beautiful prison. Her stepmother, Vera, a woman whose face was permanently locked in a scowl that not even the priciest biomods could fix, ruled the house with an iron fist. Her two daughters, Tess and Anna, were basically just extensions of their mother's vanity. They spent their days lounging on anti-gravity couches, fingers flying across holographic screens as they obsessed over their social feeds. Their cruel laughter always seemed to echo whenever Ella shuffled by, hands stained with grease from fixing another one of their broken-down domestic drones.
Ella, the sonic scrubber is on the fritz again. It's leaving streaks on the transparasteel.
Anna would shriek, not even bothering to look up from her feed.
And the auto chef just vaporized my nutrient paste. I'm literally wasting away over here,
Tess would add, striking a dramatic pose for a quick selfie. Ella's life was an endless loop of chores and quiet daydreams. Her only escape was a small, hidden workshop on the building's service level, a forgotten space filled with the tools and half-finished projects of her late parents. They had been brilliant engineers, dreamers who believed tech should bring people joy, not just cold efficiency. It was their kindness and their genius that Ella held on to, a secret inheritance nobody could ever touch. One evening, the citywide news feed lit up the sky. A booming, synthesized voice announced the event of the year, the Grand Cyber Ball at the Crystal Palace, a massive structure floating in low orbit like a captured moon. The host was the city's mysterious tech prodigy, Prince Kaito, and the grand prize? A single wish from the Quantum Fairy, an AI so powerful people whispered it could literally rewrite a person's destiny. Vera's eyes lit up. Girls, this is it! Our chance to finally get the status we deserve. One wish from the Quantum Fairy could make us digital royalty. Tess and Anna were thrilled, instantly bickering over which designer data streams they should download for their virtual gowns. Ella's heart did a hopeful little flutter. Could I maybe go too? She asked, her voice barely a whisper.
Vera spun around, her stare as cold as cryofluid.
You? Don't be ridiculous. The cyberball is for the polished and the promising, not for the help. Besides, she added with a sneer, you have nothing to wear and no way to get there. Now, go recalibrate the atmospheric filters. The air in here suddenly feels common. Crushed, Ella retreated to her parents' old workshop. As she sat there among the dusty plans and cold metal, her hand brushed against a loose floor panel. Curious, she pried it open and found a small, reinforced trunk. Inside, nestled in faded velvet, was a pair of sneakers. They looked simple, but the material seemed to shift and shimmer, and the soles were embedded with circuits that pulsed with a soft blue light. A small, handwritten note lay beside them. For our dearest Ella, a little bit of our magic to help you make your own. She slipped them on. They molded to her feet perfectly, and a strange, warm hum vibrated through her. They felt alive. She didn't know it yet, but these weren't just sneakers. They were the last of their kind, ancient fairy tech with reality-bending power. They were Cinderella's shoes. Later that night, while taking a dead power cell to the recycling chute, Ella tripped. In a flash of panic, she wished she were just back in her room. In that exact instant, the world twisted. The hallway squeezed into a tunnel of kaleidoscopic light, and a second later, she was standing, heart pounding, right in the middle of her bedroom. She looked down at the sneakers, now glowing brightly. "Whoa," she breathed. She had teleported. A huge grin spread across her face for the first time in what felt like forever. This changed everything. The next few days became a secret whirlwind of experiments. She started small, a wish for a wrench, and it would zip across the workshop right into her hand. A stumble near the balcony's edge turned into a moment of suspended time, letting her catch her balance as the city traffic below froze solid. She got bolder. Just for fun, she made the cleaning drones waltz around the room. She figured out that if she really focused, she could reshape matter itself. A boring gray wall in her room shimmered and became a window looking out onto a peaceful, holographic forest. This wasn't just tech. This was straight-up creation. She wasn't just fixing things anymore. She was learning to write the code of her own world. The fun didn't last long. The night of the cyberball arrived, and Vera, Tess, and Anna, decked out in absurdly extravagant digital outfits that flickered and glitched, got ready to leave. As a final, cruel parting gift, Vera held up Ella's data pass, the tiny chip that was her only legal ID. "We can't have you getting any foolish ideas," Vera said, snapping the pass in two and tossing it into the incinerator. And just to be sure, with a few taps on her wrist comm, she locked down the entire penthouse in a shimmering firewall. "Enjoy your evening, Ella."
Tears welled in Ella's eyes as their transport lifted off toward the stars. Her one chance, gone. But then she felt that familiar hum from her feet. She looked down at the sneakers, their blue lights pulsing like a steady heartbeat. Her parents' note popped into her head. "Make your own magic." A new resolve hardened her face. She was done being a prisoner. Not tonight. Closing her eyes, she focused on the memory of her mother's favorite dress, a simple, elegant gown. She imagined it not in silk, but in light, not with thread, but with pure data. The sneakers flared. The drab fabric of her jumpsuit began to glow, the threads dissolving and reweaving themselves into a stunning gown made of liquid starlight. Now for the firewall. She couldn't break it, but maybe she didn't have to. She pictured the service entrance, 3 floors down. Taking a deep breath, she took a running leap right off the balcony. For one terrifying second, she was falling. Then she activated the shoes. Zap! Reality bent, and she reappeared, safe on the service landing. A sleek, discarded rocket bike sat nearby. With a tap of her heel, its dead engine sparked to life. "Time to crash a party," Ella grinned, and blasted off toward the Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace was even more incredible up close, a floating celestial body of pure light and sound. Ella, in her gown of starlight, turned every head as she walked in. A young man with a crown of softly glowing circuits and a curious smile walked right up to her. "I've never seen code like that," he said, gesturing to her dress. "It's not just a projection, it's real. And those shoes," he knelt for a closer look. "They're legendary. They aren't running on the city grid. They're generating their own reality field." It was Prince Kaito, the tech prodigy himself. Before Ella could even answer, a shriek cut through the music. "Imposter!" Vera, flanked by her daughters, pointed a trembling finger. "That's our servant girl. She's a thief."
Guards!
Robotic sentinels turned their glowing red eyes on Ella. Kaito grabbed her hand. Time to go. They sprinted for the exit as laser blasts scorched the air where they'd just been standing. They jumped onto her rocket bike, and with a desperate thought from Ella, the shoes kicked into speed warp. The palace and the stars blurred into streaks of light as they left the guards in their dust. They landed in a holographic forest on the palace's lower decks. That was amazing, Kaito said, his eyes wide. You control them with your thoughts? Suddenly, a swarm of Vera's private security drones swarmed them, firing sticky nets. Thinking fast, Ella stomped her foot. Poof! An illusion of a city-sized dragon roared to life in the sky, sending the drones scattering in confusion. Kaito laughed. You are full of surprises. His smile vanished as he glanced at his wristcom. My system's detecting a hack at the city's quantum core. Someone's trying to access the quantum ferry.
He looked at Ella, the realization hitting him. Your stepmother. The wish isn't for status, it's for control. They raced to the core, a massive, pulsating sphere of energy at the city's heart. And there was Vera, fumbling with a pair of sparking, knockoff sneakers, trying to force an interface.
No more scrubbing floors. This city will be mine, she cackled. As Ella moved to confront her, her own shoes began to flicker. The chase, the illusions, it was too much. I can't do this alone, she admitted. You don't have to, Kaito replied, pulling out his own set of tools. He started working the core's control system while Ella focused her shoes' power. Reality rippled. They sent out a focused wave that warped the space around Vera's fake shoes. But in her panic, Vera lunged and grabbed one of Ella's real sneakers. The clash of true and counterfeit tech was catastrophic. A wild storm of energy erupted, turning streets upside down and making buildings wobble like jelly. At the center of the storm, atop the spinning quantum core, Ella faced Vera. Power isn't for taking, it's for sharing, she yelled over the roar. For the first time, Tess and Anna looked genuinely terrified of their mother. The knockoff shoes, overloaded with raw data, began projecting not Vera's greed, but her deepest fears. Images of being poor, discarded, and forgotten. The exact life she had forced on Ella. I was just so scared of losing everything again, Vera sobbed, the anger draining from her face. Seeing her stepmother's raw pain, Ella's compassion triggered the sneaker's true purpose, the empathy bend. The shoes glowed with a warm rainbow light, reshaping reality not to attack, but to heal. The storm died down, the quantum core stabilized, and Vera's fake shoes dissolved into dust, reforming as simple, comfortable slippers for her, Tess, and Anna. They returned to the gala, where the quantum fairy announced that the truest wish had already been granted. It awarded the grand prize not to one person, but to the family, transforming their cold penthouse into a collaborative creative hub, a space for invention and fun for all of them. As data fireworks lit up the orbital sky, Prince Kaito found her. He wasn't holding a shoe. Instead, he held up a holographic display showing a beautiful, chaotic ripple of energy. When you teleported, your shoes left a digital signature in the network, a trace of magic nobody else could create. I knew I'd find you. Ella smiled, feeling truly free for the first time. She kicked off the sneakers, which shimmered and teleported back to their trunk, their work done, for now. She didn't need them anymore. She was ready to build her own future, on her own 2 feet. What an awesome adventure with Cinderella's magic tech shoes. If you loved all the reality-bending fun, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you don't miss what's next. Or if you're on your phone, just smash that hype button.
Let's get this video to 20,000 likes so we can make a sequel with even crazier twists. What power should the shoes get next? Let me know in the comments below.